President Bongbong Marcos is calling for a paradigm shift in the West Philippine Sea dispute. In an interview with Japanese media, Marcos admitted that confrontations in the disputed waters have fallen into a pattern and that the current efforts are showing very little progress. The Philippines would engage in traditional methods of diplomacy after each incident by sending a note verbal, and the Philippine Embassy would send a démarche to the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Marcos emphasized that it is about time for the Philippine government to come up with a new way to deal with China. Marcos reiterated that he does not want any more incidents, as mistakes tend to trigger violent conflicts. Fast food giant McDonald's Philippines is stepping up its sustainability initiative. Let's find out what's good with Green and Good in this report.
McDonald's Philippines is strengthening its sustainability initiative with their core campaign, Green and Good, as a guiding principle for operating their 7th flagship store in Tarlac, which they recently opened to the public last December 11, 2023. The Green and Good campaign, which was launched in 2020, aims to continuously test and learn green solutions that could help establish and operate McDonald's stores sustainably. Adi Hernandez, Assistant Vice President for Corporate Relations and Impact of McDonald's Philippines, stated that the initiative is driven by their goal or commitment towards responsible growth.
I always say that when we talk about green and good, it's not a one campaign thing. Like we do one thing and it solves the whole problem of waste, of sustainability. It's a long journey. And it's really about continuous improvement and finding all of these different solutions.
Attendees of the event were shown the steps that the global fast food chain is undertaking to build their stores in a sustainable manner. Customers could learn more about the different solutions within the initiative by scanning the QR code that can be found in the Green and Good token just right outside the store. The QR code leads to an Instagram filter that presents you with information about their initiative. Through this expanded initiative, McDonald's Philippines is hoping to enjoin more people into practicing eco-conscious efforts to help protect the environment.
ACT Teachers Party List Representative Francis Castro welcomes the suspension of 2 Sunshine Media Network programs. In a statement, Castro says the suspension has been long overdue. Castro adds that she hopes that the suspension orders handed down by the Movie and Television Review and Classification Board would be the start of extracting accountability from the network. On Tuesday, the MTRCB suspended 2 SMNI programs, Gikan para sa Masa and Laban kasama ang Bayan. Gikan was suspended due to alleged threats issued by former President Rodrigo Duterte in the program, while Laban kasama ang Bayan hosts were investigated after claiming that House Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez spent 1.8 billion pesos for travel funds. Castro was the recipient of the alleged threats from Duterte. The lawmaker has filed grave threats complaint against the former president. Senator Francis Tolentino announces he is leaving his post as the chairperson of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. Tolentino says his decision to resign is in fulfillment of his commitment to head the panel for only 1.5 years. The senator says he is honoring a prior agreement, adding that this resignation is rooted in a belief that public office demands fidelity to pledges that were made.
Ang pagtupad sa kasunduan ay nakabatay sa aking malalim na paniniwala na ang pangako na maglingkod na maikling panahon ay isang sagradong tungkulin sa paglilingkod sa bayan na dapat tuparin.
Both Senators Tolentino and Alan Peter Cayetano previously vied for the chairmanship of the committee. Tolentino started to head the panel in 2022. No official reports have been made yet as to who will take the vacant post. Actor Jonathan Majors was found guilty by a New York jury on charges of assault and harassment. Following a 2-week trial, the jury convicted Majors on 1 count of assault and 1 count of harassment. The charges were filed by Majors' ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, who was allegedly assaulted in a hired car in Manhattan in March, leaving her with a broken finger and swollen arm and ear. He faces up to a year in prison, but prosecutors have not indicated what sentence they plan to seek. Shortly after the verdict, a spokesperson for Walt Disney-owned Marvel said the studio had dropped the actor from future projects. Majors portrayed a villain known as Kang the Conqueror in this year's Ant-Man movie and was scheduled to play the lead role in 2026 release Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. Here's the latest roundup of today's top stories. President Bongbong Marcos calls for a paradigm shift in the West Philippine Sea dispute. Metro Manila's COVID-19 positivity rate jumps to 21% according to Okta Research. And MTRCB orders preventive suspension of 2 SMNI programs. And these are the stories you need to know today. I am Chari Abarca and it's 6 days before Christmas. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net.